Telephony fraud occurs when a remote hacker accesses your phone system to make calls, usually to international destinations and premium rate numbers. Underreported and underdiscussed in the media, telephony fraud continues to be a significant and evolving problem for the telecoms industry. Many victims don't wish to make it known they have been attacked, not wanting to make their lack of security and financial misfortune public knowledge. Fraudsters identify insecure phone systems and exploit weak spots. These well-organised, sophisticated criminals target phone systems to make high volumes of calls, and it's you, the end user, who is liable to pay the bill for calls you didn't make. Telephony fraud isn't a crime the police are likely to be of much help investigating, as in all probability, the fraudsters will be hacking from another country and almost impossible to trace. It doesn't take much research to find the majority of telecoms providers publicly declaring the security to be down to you, to adequately protect the phone system and ultimately pay the unexpected bill. There are many blog posts advising what you should be doing to prevent it, but preventing telephony fraud is not solely your responsibility. Indeed, it shouldn't be your responsibility at all. You cannot be expected to spot unusual spikes in call traffic within a reasonable time frame, which is often the first indication that a phone system has been compromised, as calls are usually billed monthly in arrears. Therefore, it is up to the telecoms provider to take control of the products and services they provide and identify issues in real time. To do this, telecoms providers should ensure they are monitoring call traffic and managing the risk to both themselves and their end users. Unsurprisingly, wholesale carriers will have an obligation to pay the cost of any calls they have handed to global interconnect partners and expect to be paid, at pre-agreed rates, by the telecoms provider. Many wholesale carriers fail to mitigate fraudulent activity on their networks because of contractual agreements and the fear of mistakenly blocking legitimate call traffic. This is somewhat understandable, as it's not really their problem. Who's to say the calls aren't legitimate? Wholesale carriers are facing unprecedented demand and unable to keep up with the growth in telephony fraud and other types of unwanted behaviour on their networks. It doesn't help that regulation as a force for change is lacking. Unlike fraudulent credit card payments, where the chargeback process can protect the person whose details were stolen, there is currently no such thing in the telephony world. Small businesses and charities may be at greater risk than larger organisations, as they won't have the resources to put in place advanced solutions for detecting fraud. These end users are particularly vulnerable and more tempting targets for criminals, as they don't tend to spend as much as other organisations on security, often using outdated technologies that leave them vulnerable to fraudsters using the latest hacking methods. Hacking usually takes place in the evenings, on weekends, and especially during holiday periods when it is less likely to be detected. Unfortunately, smaller organisations only discover they have fallen victim to telephony fraud after the hacking has taken place and an expensive bill comes through. This is often a recipe for unwanted stress and worry for the end user, followed by difficult conversations with their telecoms provider. 20Tele protect phone systems in areas that are often overlooked by other telecoms providers. We automatically block calls to unusual locations and premium rate numbers, and we are instantly notified about high call volumes and unexpected out-of-hours activity. Unless telecoms providers know their customers well and what normal usage profiles look like, they will be unable to spot problems as they occur. Telephony fraud is developing at such a rapid pace, it is difficult to keep up by relying on traditional mitigation techniques. We aren't going to discuss in detail the strict measures we take to prevent telephony fraud, as providing such information publicly to potential fraudsters would be unwise. Let's just say the first step is to ensure the front door is protected with a good lock and defend the back door with an even bigger one. We constantly monitor our network to safeguard our customers from telephony fraud. If suspicious activity is detected which makes us think your phone system may be compromised or at risk, we will act to further secure the phone system immediately. The primary phone system may need to be rebuilt from scratch, and a secondary phone system can take over to ensure continuous uptime. We pride ourselves on the robust fraud prevention provided as part of an end-to-end maintenance of phone systems and committed to keeping end users safe from the continuous threat of telephony fraud.